Hello and welcome back to the Hype Bulletin, hosted by yours truly, Ralph Mentor, and all where we'll be discussing the end of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. LeBron James going to Philadelphia 76ers. Tarik Skubal going to that new evil empire of the modern day and the Los Angeles Dodgers. But the most important thing of it all, since missing the past 2 weeks and all, the Boston fucking Red Sox are saving my summer. Let's get it started. I got a little script. I usually like freestyle the opening and all, but it looks like I have a goal to get subscribers and some likes and views and all that type of stuff too as well. So bear with me. This will be like a new script for me going forward and all, so it won't be all this good jumble that I'm doing at the moment and all. But what's up? But what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the stream and all. I'm really glad that you're here. Whether you guys are joining me live or you guys are checking on the replay and all, I really appreciate y'all coming through and all. If it's your first time to the channel and all, as I put into the chat, please press on that subscribe button. I've been stuck at 38 subscribers for a minute, so let me be real about how I'm trying to grow the podcast and all too as well. So please press on that subscribe button and all too as well. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss any future streams and all too as well. I do want to announce that I will be on recording Tuesdays. That's what took me so long to get back into the swing of things and all. I've been going going this way, that way with the FIFA World Cup, with the quarterfinals, semifinals, and off schedule. Now I want to be able to start a schedule. I'm pretty sure if there's some news here and there, I'll have like an emergency stream or an emergency recording. But going forward, I do want to keep a schedule going Tuesdays. Maybe not going this late. I'll figure out my future timing. I really wanted to wait for the Red Sox game to finish and all. They smacked the hell out of the Chicago White Sox. So I definitely will be going on Tuesday. So I definitely wanted to throw that announcement and all too as well. But as you're coming in, say hello in the chat. Let me know where you guys are watching from too as well. If you guys are from a different country, different state and all that, what team you cheer for, all that. You can throw that in the chat and all too as well. And if you guys are enjoying the stream, please press on that like button. Please share it to your other friends and all too. If you guys are really enjoying the stream and all. So that's one of my scripts. I'm gonna have some other scripts, throughout the show to help promote the podcast and promote the stream and all that. But since, like I said, I'm behind, I so want to talk about the Boston Red Sox right now. But I'll be going a little long. There is some major news over the last 2 weeks since the last time I recorded. So let me switch the screen and all. And now, like, you see how I'm like, oh, I don't know if you guys were peeping me in past streams where I'm like zooming in on the browser, and I like looked back at it over the last 2 weeks. Like, I don't have to do all that. I can just move my head, you know what I mean, to make sure I can show clearly of what I'm talking about. So here, I was supposed to have a semifinals episode, but that never happened. World Cup fever took over Ralph Mentor. I am not gonna lie. It was a great month and a half. Apparently, there's some news that the states may be taking it in 2034. But that's speculation and all. But I mean, I just did it and all. But yeah, great time. I kind of wore myself out. I'm not gonna lie, over the last 2 weeks, so I didn't really have the energy. And I work on the side, obviously, and all. This is just more of a hobby that I'm trying to build into a business and also. But what's it called? But yeah, definitely took my time off. I'm definitely behind on announcing that Spain, is the winner. Clearly, I'm pretty sure if you guys are tuning in and all, you guys are clearly aware that the Spain dominated Argentina in the World Cup final. Where at a time that I was peeping the game, because I was at work, I work at Lids on the side, and I was peeping the game on the Gamecast and watching the game. I was doing both at the same time. But I think Spain had like 500 passes going into halftime, if not a little bit after halftime, while like Argentina was sitting there with like barely 200, if not barely over 200 passes. So it's just complete domination by Spain. But before I get to the World Cup final, let me preview the semifinals real quick, or react to this. Obviously not preview. React to the semifinals where Spain shut out France 2-0, and I'm trying to remember not to say the and all. Shout out to a person that came at me with it all. But yeah, they beat them 2-0. Elise missed a multitude of goals in my opinion. But you could just shout out to España Spain defense. I keep doing that because I'm a big fan of saying España and all. But great defense for them throughout this whole World Cup. Spain only gave up one goal throughout it. I think it was the game against Belgium, if I remember correctly. It's been a while and all too as well. But yeah, complete domination with France, able to get them to the final. As you can see, as you can see in the 2-0 score, Mbappe wasn't able to score a goal. I still think, yeah, he still was able to get what's it called? The Golden Boot. And all, I was hyping that up for a while, but that shit, he just got deaded and all too as well. But with Erling Haaland not able to make it through to the semifinals, so he held short. Messi in that Spain game in the World Cup final was definitely dead and all. But with France losing to Spain, they ended up facing England. I don't know if Mbappe scored. I can check real quick. Let me check real quick because this is a while back and all. But yeah, to the third, yeah, he did have 2 goals. Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember and all. But yeah, and Dybala, yeah, scored late. But England ended up winning. England was up like 4-0 in this game, if not like 3-0, going into maybe like going into halftime or barely going into halftime, where yeah, they went to halftime with it. Mbappe scored in the 48th minute, scored in the 66th minute, then they got Barcelo scoring in the 45th minute, then Dembele scoring in there. But it was a while, yeah, because I'm looking there. England scored in the 3rd minute, the 18th minute, the 37th minute, and in the 45th plus minute, and that's where France was able to score 3 goals to make it 4-3. But it looks like Saka ended up having 3 goals. It looks like he had himself a hat trick in the game. But he came in, he's still able to knock a couple of goals. And I think Jude Bellingham, I'm seeing that he scored late. I believe he came in as a sub and was able to score late to really clinch it, because as you can see, Dembele scored the 4th goal to probably make it 5-4. Not probably, definitely make it 5-4 and also. But Jude Bellingham scoring there with +8 left in the 90th minute to really cinch it for England, for at least for the 3rd place, for the bronze for them and all too. But for the next game, England Argentina, it's just devastating a game in my opinion by England, basically dominating the whole game. Let me throw it up and all. Yeah, I can't help it. But definitely dominating the whole game. They were scored their 1 goal, looks like in the 55th minute there, and it took till Enzo Fernandez to finally score a man in the 85th minute, and then Lautaro Martinez, I think, I don't know if it was assist by Messi, but Argentina was able to score in the extra 90th minute and all. And what's disappointing about England there, I like what my buddy Jody said. I'll be on my Twitter Spaces and all, but basically England just parked the bus after scoring that 1 goal. They did not like. Argentina was unable to get to the other half of the field against Spain in the World Cup final. That's how dominant Spain was. England chose not to go on the other side of the midfield. I'm not talking about the other side, their offensive side of the field. They chose just to park the bus, play defense, and I mean, their defense is nowhere near Spain, and I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not like you're Spain. Go after a goal. Argentina's defense has not been great throughout this whole tournament and all. Like, why would you sit back instead of playing forward? Didn't make any sense to me. As you can see, Argentina scored 2 goals in that scenario and all too. So complete domination, I believe, until complete domination until like the 80th minute. And then, not even 80th minute, probably 75th, because they really started drawing it back once they scored that goal. But yeah, just a disappointing effort. Even though they got the bronze, I feel like they should have been in the World Cup final and maybe would have gave them a better match against Spain. I would assume these 2 teams in Spain and England have faced each other in the what's it called? They're in the Euros and all too as well. That's where Spain beat France, in the past Euros, this past Euro, and I would think gave them sort of an edge going into this matchup against France in the semifinals. But disappointing ending, at least for England and all. I mean, they got the bronze, like I said, but I really feel like they could have been in the World Cup final against Spain and all. Maybe, with no offense to like Argentina and all, but I was seeing it against Switzerland, how tall Switzerland was and how short Argentina was. So I think with the guys like Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham, could have made a big difference against Spain with their, the stout defense and their stout attack and all. So, but that's how the World Cup ended. Mbappe ended up getting, like I said, the Golden Boot. It's over. Like, it was super disappointing to have it over. Like, it was just fun to have, like, how many games? 3 to 5 games a day for the group stages at least, and then the earlier round 32 and then round the 16 till you get to the quarters, still having a good amount of games throughout the day and all. But once we got to the semifinals, I felt that World Cup fever just leaving me. I got so definitely tired from like going out, checking out vibes and all too as well. It's been a great environment. I can't even front going to that Haiti game on the 25th of June for the Morocco game and having Isidore score that way. Definitely a moment that I'll never forget and all. So definitely a great time for me with it. Definitely a great time watching it. I'm pretty sure, like the numbers, you see the numbers. I mean, if I can look it up, I don't know. I don't trust Google AI sometimes, but let's see. FIFA World Cup dollar numbers. Let me see if I can find that. I mean, a ridiculous amount of numbers. I don't know if AI will find it. Okay. Features a record-breaking total financial distribution of 871 million dollars, including 655 million in performance prize money and all. I'm not sure. I don't take Google AI all that seriously and all too. I don't know where else I can really find some information with that. I bet X could help out, but definitely some money that there was made in Gianni, the I don't know if they call him the CEO of FIFA or some chairman of FIFA, was apparently, and I'm sure a group of people were trying to sell their stakes. And when you see that money, or yeah, do you see that money right there? I personally don't blame them, but as like they, FIFA fans don't play around. There was an uproar behind it, and apparently he had nixed that decision and all. But a great amount of money was made for the World Cup this year and all. And shout out to the States, Canada, and Mexico. We'll see about 2030. If Haiti makes it 2030, I will definitely be booking something to Madrid and Lisbon. Morocco, apparently Morocco is something too, so make me think about it all three. But so I have no car trouble this time, if we're being honest, and all too. But yeah, the states did a great job here and all. And there's someone that I talked to about like the how is it, why did it work so well in the states and all. Like the states just have the infrastructure already, with with the grand stadiums because of American football. Europe is obviously not too far from there. Not too far from, they're probably right there. That can be the closest, the closest thing that can probably have the same success money wise that the states did and all. But obviously Europe you can throw out there and all. But I was just so disappointed with Qatar. I was kind of forget how dope and energetic this World Cup fever is. Brought me back to like years of what years I'm looking of. I think '08 thinking of, and or is it '06 I'm thinking of? So I'm thinking about the Italy team. I'm forgetting what year. Yeah, '06 I'm thinking of, and then '02 was a dope year and all. What was the year when I'm a teenager? I'm trying to think back. I think 14. I'm trying to think back of the time I was a teen. Not 14. That's a lie. I think I'm thinking about '06 probably. Yeah, '06 when I'm 16. There we go. That's what I'm thinking of. Well, '06 and '02 were just dope World Cups. Great fever, even me just being at home watching the games and all. Qatar kind of like threw me off about how dope they were and all, and then come having them back in the States. And, it's a huge shout out. I think the States deserve that. I don't know about Trump, giving Trump credit, but the infrastructure of the States, being here in Atlanta, seeing how Foxborough was, especially with the Scotland fans and all. And apparently, Scotland fans are getting the credit of the Boston Red Sox turnaround that I can't wait to talk about. And all. I got all my notes and all too as well. But yeah, just a great run there. Like I said, I'm very curious about how 2030 is going to look in Lisbon, Madrid, and in Morocco and all. Apparently, Morocco's like right there in all my geographic sense for there. Is getting hipped over the past month and all, because I did not know Morocco was that close to Madrid and Lisbon and all. But I'll be curious to see if the numbers can be similar to what the state, there we go, have the numbers similar to how the states were looking throughout the throughout this past month and a half with the World Cup and all. So, but nah, great time. Disappointed that I have to wait 4 years and all. I will not be one of those that will be jumping onto like soccer or other places. Like I've mentioned, Copa America, I'll give a damn about in 2 years. But after that, I'll be waiting for the World Cup to show up all over again. So, but let me do a little script thing again, and I'll do as well. Quick favor before we keep going. If you guys are enjoying the stream so far, take a second to hit the like button. It only takes a moment, but it really helps the YouTube recommend this stream to more people who might enjoy it too. And also, if you're getting value from today's conversation, so far, just talking about World Cup and all, I'll be going into NBA and all. Like it just can't leave me alone. And all too as well, at least for news guaranteed things and all. But if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future live streams. And all, thank you for everyone who's supporting and going forward. Shout out to anybody supporting prior and all. So next topic, and all. I got LeBron James going to the Philadelphia 76ers on a 2-year, $8 million veteran contract, and I believe there's a player option. Yeah, there's a player option featured in the second year. Wait, featured the second year player option. That's what I thought. People were making it seem like it's a 2-year deal and the player options for a third year. From what I was peeping when it first dropped, but that's what I thought it was. The first year guaranteed, second year it's up to him, which makes sense. I just think that's going to be my thing moving forward. But we'll see if I can knock it out. I find it an interesting move. I'm not so sold on it because of the lack of efficient shooting from the outside from every star player that's there. Besides Joel Embiid, I can't say that about Joel, but obviously he's got huge injury concerns. So I'm curious how that's going to work out. I would think even it's LeBron James, as you can see there, but the guy's making $4 million. I would think he's going to have some type of sciatica thing to not start the season playing, at least for the Sixers. So I would presume it's either going to be Brown or Embiid. Maxi's dope. I just don't see Maxi as a number one. So I'm thinking Embiid and Brown are going to be, Jaylen Brown, and let me reiterate again, is a Philadelphia 76er and probably a big part to why LeBron James is now a Philadelphia 76er. Shout out to Brad Stevens if he's hearing this and all. Uh, but yeah, I would expect Embiid or Brown to be the number one. I would presume if Embiid is healthy, Embiid's the number one. I just think he's more dominant. As a one-on-one player than Jaylen Brown. That's no disrespect to Jaylen Brown if somebody wants to take it as that. But just as a guy playing the five, 2023 MVP, his efficiency numbers are better than anybody else on this team shooting wise. I don't want to take that away from the GOAT, LeBron James, and all. And all, but I do expect those are your number one and twos. Maxi's your third, and I'm curious if this works in the East. This is not the same LeBron James. So this is not the same LeBron James. So I don't expect him to be all dominant. Like I said, it wouldn't surprise me. He starts the season with some sciatica thing, and he's not coming into the next after the first 10 to 15 games because they don't really need him if they really want to build a regular season resume. He can definitely be on the sidelines for 60, 70%. No. I'm sorry, 20, 40% of the season. Come in when need be. But I think it's important that Joel Embiid, Jaylen Brown, Maxey, and BJ Edgecombe to a degree figure out their chemistry. I'm just curious about their efficiency as a scoring team. I look at Jaylen Brown as a volume guy. I look at Embiid as a volume guy. I look at Tyrese Maxey as a volume guy too. So I'm curious where they can get their easy baskets and where everybody can get their touches. So that's going to be a curious thing. I'm sure they'll figure it out. I just don't think it's I'm not saying Philly's going to be a top 18 or anything like that, but it's hard for me to buy them being a guaranteed top 4 team. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I still have more. Obviously, I have confidence in the Knicks. I got more confidence in the Boston Celtics. To be unbiased as a motherfucker, I'm trying, but I still think they're a top 2 to 4 team still. Miami should be interesting. I'm trying to think of anyone else that just pops. Can't think of anyone. So let me go to the NBA standings. I need to refresh my brain because I don't take Cleveland seriously. Indiana's interesting, but I don't know yet. You gotta see it. I gotta see it to believe it. Orlando is interesting to me because of the new coach, so maybe you can influx some offense to them, but no guaranteed top 3 seed. Detroit was your number 1 seed. I got no confidence that they're going to do what they did. They're going to be a different basketball team, in my opinion. Outside the Jalen Duren thing, you added Isaiah Joe to the team. Who else did they lost Tobias Harris to the Spurs and all. So I'm curious how they're going to look. I'm confident in Kate Cunningham still being a top 5 to 10 impact player this year. But I'm just curious how the roster works. I don't have confidence in Bickerstaff, influxing efficient offense for them. So I'll have huge concerns. Last year they were a surprise team. This year no one's gonna come. They're not gonna come as a surprise to anyone. So I'm very curious how they're gonna look. So that's why I look at Miami, Boston, and the Knicks as a clear top 3 still. And I don't know. Everyone else, even Philly, as much talent as they had. You have Anthony Simons. You added Dean Wade, Kadavius, KCP, Kadavius Caldwell Pope. I think I got it right. Kadavius Caldwell. I think I got it right. But he got bought out. I believe he got bought out by either Memphis or Orlando. I know he got traded after being signed to Orlando, but he got bought out and ended up signing over there. So you got Nick Nurse. I got my questions about him too. But he's what's it called there? He's a champion coach with the 2019 Toronto Raptors, so he just has some pedigree that he can influence and all. Like I'm saying that about LeBron James. Either he's not playing all 82. Like that's just ridiculous. So that's not going to happen on a team like this. But he managed Kawhi Leonard for that 2019 run. Does have some type of experience to do the same thing with LeBron James and up Pascal Siakam up Joel, or how am I trying to say it? Up Joel Embiid like he up Pascal Siakam throughout the season, up Kyle Lowry, same way you can up Tyrese Maxey and all, and there's someone else in there, Fred VanVleet, not similar to Jalen Brown, but if you catch what I'm saying at least. But those guys, Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, even Marcus Gasol as a defensive stout, they were all huge as cogs until Kawhi Leonard came into the playoffs, stepped up big time for them. So Philly does have that recipe to do that. Anthony Simons can carry, as a Celtics fan, I saw him do it a couple times where he can carry you for a game. Obviously, Jalen Brown can carry you for a game. Joel Embiid can carry you for a game. Tyrese Maxey can carry you for a game. VJ Edgecombe even can carry you for a game. Dropped 30 points in his first game as a rookie against my Boston Celtics, so definitely can carry a game. And even in the playoffs, too, against us, has some big moments. I think game 2, him and Tyrese Maxey had some big moments in the Garden, so definitely can carry a game. So they got the guys to carry a game. You don't need to rely on LeBron James you don't have to rely on LeBron James to get everybody set, because he has that, even though people knock him about not being the killer of taking that last shot, he's always going to take the right basketball play. But you don't need that when you have so many players like that can win games throughout the regular season. Playoffs, it's going to be interesting how they look. Too far to look ahead there, but they're too good not to be in the 4-6 scenario. I'm just curious because of this lack of efficiency. Because I don't look at them as efficient ball players. These are volume to me. Embiid, Brown, and Maxey are all volume guys. LeBron James isn't one of those volume guys in my opinion. He can have impact without scoring. I feel like Tyrese Maxey, Brown, and Embiid, their impact is scoring first, then everything else comes after. So I'm curious. They're not great 3-point. When I'm saying efficiency and all, I just feel like these are guys that they jack up a good amount of shots and all, a good amount of shots. Embiid, in my opinion, is the best efficient out of the three, but Jalen Brown jacks a good amount of shots, well over 20. Tyrese Maxey, I believe, jacks up a good amount of shots and all. Could be more, could be under 20 with Tyrese, but I'm pretty sure it's gone up over the last couple of years at least. So that'd be my only question there with them. I like the move though. I ain't gonna hate it. As Brad Stevens has his, we have as a Celtics fan, I got my questions for Brad Stevens and why he sent Jalen Brown to Philly and all. And I do believe that Jalen Brown had a hand on it. I don't think Brad Stevens is willingly sending them to Philly, in my opinion. I don't think Paul George is your best option. Even the Clippers pick in 28, I don't think that was your best option. I do really think Jalen Brown had a hand on it. I don't think he wanted to go to Boston, but since Boston, it seemed like Boston was stuck on moving him. I think that's where he had the option of picking where he wanted to go. But I love the move. As an NBA fan, I absolutely love the move. Philadelphia 76er fans are apparently going crazy. Got people coming into Lids asking for a LeBron James jersey. Last I check, it's August, so it's not coming anytime soon. But still, pretty dope though. That pretty dope move by him. Totally get the move by him too. Come on, the man's losing. The man is losing. The man was making, I believe he was making $52 million. So the man's losing $48 million. Apparently he's doing some type of documentary thing. So it just feels like it really does. That's why I wanted to check about that. That's why I'm happy. At least I hope Google AI is right about that. But if his second year is a player option, I only see him doing this for a year because I've always seen him playing until 45. He may not be in the mood to make 45 happen, but I can definitely see him playing 2 more seasons. I just don't believe LeBron is retiring as a Philadelphia 76er. I just think he looks at it as an opportunity to win one last shot because as I looked at Miami a little bit differently. I feel like if he went to Miami, he could have won this year. But Cleveland, I wasn't so sure of, and it really is the James Harden thing. If it wasn't James Harden there, I would feel differently about Cleveland. But because what James Harden is to Cleveland is what LeBron James is about to be for Philly. You only 2 of those in Cleveland, and what's Cleveland gonna do with James Harden? Apparently, Cleveland picked up James Harden thinking that LeBron would want to come to Cleveland. Yeah. Oh, did I say that right? Yeah. Cleveland chased James Harden from the Clippers to send him to Cleveland this season, thinking it would help LeBron James go to Cleveland. And I think they read that all wrong. That would not help, in my opinion. I feel like Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley are enough to sell LeBron to come over there. That's not even something that the Lakers have, even though Luka's a better player than both. He still doesn't have a number 2 to play with, so LeBron can just chill. Austin Reeves is cool. I don't even want to diss Austin Reeves, but he ain't no real number two to me. And it's going to be very curious how the Lakers look and all for the playoffs. Because I know Austin Reeves is going to kill in the regular season, will be an all-star, maybe even have a great year where he's a 13 All-NBA player. But I'm going to have my questions about him in the playoffs, in the playoffs until he shows improve. He just has never looked good. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't healthy for this one. I think he played. I don't know if he came. Yeah, I think he came back for the Thunder series, but I wouldn't expect him to do anything. I think he had an oblique issue, so obviously he rushed back for that series. I don't think he was healthy for that, even if he did play, but was unfortunately unhealthy for the first series against Houston, where LeBron James took over and all too as well against the Rockets. I don't want to get too much on the tangent about that, but like I said, LeBron James to Philly. I like the move. We'll see. We'll see about Philly. I really think this is like a 1 year thing for LeBron. If that's true about his player option being the second year, it's a 1 year thing. I don't buy it. The only reason why he's doing this is this is a great chance to win a championship, but I don't think it's so guaranteed. Even though it looks good on paper, I don't think it's so guaranteed for Philly to be a clear top four team and to run away with the East. I just don't see it. I'm looking at both conferences, I should say, and I see a whole bunch of teams in the East that can make a run to the finals. Like no different how just even though I've always said the Knicks were the most talented team in the East this year, the record didn't signify they were going to be so dominant. I believe anybody in the East can run the table like that. Knicks can do it again because the East is so there's no even what Philly. See, that's the thing. Even what Philly did, I don't think they're better than New York, where they're gonna dominate like the way New York did and all. You gotta throw in the you gotta throw because I always believe in like you gotta take your losses before going for it at least. And to be fair with this situation with Philly, you got Embiid who's been through it, you got Jalen Brown who's been through it and won. LeBron, they're not relying so much on LeBron, so they gotta get to the regular season. But Tyrese Maxey too, they've been through it, so I don't want to go do that. But it's hard for me to look at what the Knicks did or what they went through about losing to Miami in the second round, losing to Indiana again in the second round, losing to Indiana again in the conference finals. That's they bred something in my opinion for them to do their run in this year's postseason. Hard for me to look at Philly and think they're gonna do that. I'm a fan of the Boston Celtics. The 2008 Boston Celtics did a similar thing that Philly did by bringing in Kevin Garnett, bringing in Ray Allen, bringing in James Posey, Eddie House, and all, having a lit team. First year in, had 66 wins there, but unable to finish the job in the postseason for the first round and the second round. So I'm curious, but able to figure it out against the Pistons. I think to beat the Pistons in 5. So I feel like, Philly's kind of in that situation. If Embiid wasn't so injury prone, I would have more confidence with it. I think that's really my linchpin to it. Can he really play 60? He's got to play 60, 65 games. I don't think, I look at this team too, like the 24 Celtics, where they were able to get away not having KP play throughout the season. But in that situation, KP's probably your fourth best player after Tatum, Brown, and Holiday. Cool, you can mingle the two in my opinion. But looking at it now, I think we all know Drew Holiday was pretty damn important for winning that championship. So, but I don't think you can get away with Embiid being the fourth best player on this roster. I think that's LeBron. You can get away with Embiid being the number 2 guy if Jalen Brown can up his efficiency, which a guy who's seen him for 10 years, I don't doubt him doing that, but he's never shown it before. That Game 7 game is part of my my pushback to them being so dominant to start going into this season. So, but still, I like the move. I'm going along with it, or getting along with it and all. But I do like the move. It's going to be an interesting thing. Like I said, the East looks like from. I wanted to look real quick because I can see, even though I don't believe in Cleveland, they can make a run if things fall right. I don't believe in Orlando, but if that coach can do something similar to what Jordan Ott did with the Phoenix Suns, I should say, very interesting. He's interesting too as well. Obviously you got the Knicks, the Raptors if they're able to get Kawhi Leonard with the aspiration thing. It's not looking good in my opinion. But if they're able to get him, they're an interesting team. And obviously Miami with getting Giannis, I think they're in the conversation. Indiana is interesting. I like the coach. I like their best player, but Tyrese Halliburton, coming off an Achilles, with the extra time that he had compared to Jason Tatum, he may look better going into the season and all. But they got Zubac and all. They don't have Matherin anymore. They still have Nemhard. They still have certain players that helped them with that finals run. But certain guys have gone too as well. So I'm just curious how that works. I'm confident that they'll figure it out, but I'm just curious. Even in that finals run, they had a crazy slow start. Didn't figure it out till January. Then they got hot for the rest of the year, and also they do show that they can have those type of those hiccups from time to time. So that'd be my only worry with Indiana, but I do believe in them, and I'm gonna throw in the Washington Wizards. That they could be very interesting this year if healthy. AD's got to be healthy. Trey Young's got to be healthy and want to play. And but I like the team that they have around AJ Dabansa, and no different with the Utah Jazz with Darren Peterson and with the team they have around them, and also but yeah, I mean, like for me saying what the West is, only two teams I'm scared of. I'll scroll down right now. I'll scroll the only two teams I believe that can go for a run and win a championship going into the 26-27 season is going to be the Thunder and the Spurs. The Nuggets just can't stay healthy. So Aaron Gordon specifically, and that's like their big defensive linchpin. Payne Watson was too, and I don't think he was healthy too. And if he was, he came on late for the Nuggets, and also that'd be my one. That's my one concern. I feel like they're a dark horse team, and that's with Jokic, Jamal Murray, been to the finals, been to multiple Western Conference finals and stuff like that. For me to call him a dark horse is that comes with the questions and all. But Lakers interesting team, but Houston, Minnesota is interesting with the whole LaMelo Ball and Edwards thing. So I'm definitely gonna see with that. Portland's interesting. Phoenix is interesting. Clippers are probably gonna suck. I don't know actually. If Kawhi's there, they probably won't suck. But they want the youth movement, so I'm curious how they're gonna look. But in the Western Conference, it's open, so I'm not gonna count them out. They're just young, so that's why I don't know. But when I look at it, Dallas is looking very interesting to me because they have one of the best players, one of the best young players, I should say, in the league, in Cooper Flag. And then I look at the Jazz; they just look loaded as a roster. You don't know because to me they've had great starts I don't know about last year, but the 2 years prior they've had some great starts, but then I don't know, management, Ainge, I don't know, the tank. They call in the tank and all, and then they start sucking. Will Hardy's a damn good coach to me, a tree from Ime Udoka who can actually coach offense. So I look at the team. You got Jaren Jackson, Laurie Markkinen, number one pick AJ Demancia, think Keon George or something George. I don't want. I feel like I'm confused the Georges with the DC guy too as well. And ironically, I have them both as maybe as surprise teams this year. But they got just there's a hell of talent there. But if I looked at the roster, I would be super impressed with the Jazz. It's just a matter of are they done with the tanking? Does the lottery rules change things and all? But I'm really confident that they can make some noise in the Western Conference this year. Easily be a top 16 to me. Like, that's how I feel about Utah this year. I'm really going to be jumping on the bandwagon for them this year. It's just super low talent. It's no different with how the Spurs looked. It wasn't just Wemby. Got Castle. You got Harper. Was another young guy I'm sleeping on. Carter Bryant, right? Carter Bryant, another young guy who stepped up, throughout the season. Even had his moments against the OKC Thunder in the playoff series there, and also, it's not just Wemby and him as a young guy. They got a multitude of young guys, and then a dope variety of vets around them. De'Aaron Fox, I don't know where were you, but I'll be fair. Dealing with an injury, I'm fair in that sense. Wasn't able to be explosive as he usually is, I should say. So I'm going along with this topic. LeBron James is a Philadelphia 76er, so we'll see how that continues. Let me throw out one more script. I apologize. I'm being a little corporate right now, but before we wrap up today's episode, I want to say thank you for listening. Your support means a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just telling you, it really does. I'm grateful for you've chosen to spend some time to hear what I'm saying about today's topics and all. If you found today's conversation valuable, entertaining, or thought-provoking, I would really appreciate it if you could take a moment to rate the podcast and leave a review on your favorite podcast app, Apple, Spotify, Overcast. Now I'm like dropping the usual stuff at least, but those ratings and reviews help more people discover the show and allow us to keep bringing you great conversation and content. And please, in the future, if anybody jumps on, please jump on the chat. I don't mind talking it up and all. I'm supposed to be like on Twitter and having like a multi-cast and all, but building up towards it and all. I keep forgetting that I'm even live when I'm doing it. But now we're on the baseball, finally. And before I talk Red Sox stuff and all, the evil empire struck again by getting Tarik Skubal this past, was it Saturday? after the Red Sox took care of business and all. They ended up sweeping the Dodgers, but they won game two. What was the score? What was the score? Oh, I'm trying to remember the score. I think it was 3-2. Yeah, it got to be 3-2 because I don't want to get too deep in it. I'm trying to wait. But after that, I'm just trying to say the Dodgers ended up trading for Skubal. Let's say, I mean, compared to what the Red Sox gave up for a catcher in Baltimore, a very light price. But you get the circumstances. This man's going into his free agent year this November, this off season, I should say. So basically a renter, his agent is the great, illustrious, well known. I'm just saying, Scott Boras, and there's no way that he signed any type of extension before the end of the season. So definitely going into free agency. Scott Boras don't play around with his money. The Dodgers apparently deferred some money to their high athlete and Shohei Ohtani. So I doubt that's gonna happen here with Scott Boras and Tarik Skubal and also, but big move for the Dodgers. I think, I mean, a big part of it, the Tigers felt like they weren't going to resign the guy anyway, so that's a big part why he's available. But a big part why I think the Dodgers really, well, I mean, when you hear about it, Milwaukee didn't really push their chips in, and so Brewers were the only team I really thought should really push their chips in. And when you look at their prospects, it's kind of ridiculous what they have. You would think one or two of them, the Dodgers, not two top tens, but one top 10. With how they breed, I'm looking at it. Boston Red Sox team's got an infield full of Brewers prospects, not Brewers prospects, but yeah, Brewers prospects. Yeah, they're in their minor leagues, at least minor leaguers. Yeah, I guess I was trying to say, but shocking that they didn't do that. And based on their history of what I know about baseball in the past, and, they made a big swing for CC Sabathia back in the day, and it was kind of a run for them. I don't remember how it ended up. They probably lost in the first round. Back then, I don't think there were any wild card rounds or wild card teams back then. But no wild card rounds. But I don't know if it got them to the NLCS. But it was still a dope series. I wish I can remember. I'll just look it up. Give me a moment. CC Sabathia Brewers playoffs. Yeah, let me see if I can find that. Yeah, they got the wild card, first birth in 26 years. So just based off that, it was worth it. But the Brewers have done more. They're the second best team in the NL, I believe, right now. So it's not that deep for them to do that. But yeah, it was the NLDS. Yeah, the first round only pitched once, so it wasn't great. But it was worth that pickup for that. But you would think the Brewers team there, like as you can see, they were a wild card team, so it's not like they were a dominant team throughout the year. Them, I guess there was pressure about them finally making the postseason after 25 years. What year was this? It was 08, right? Card from Cleveland, 08. And yeah, I remember him playing with the Indians or Guardians. I'm sorry, against the Mariners, I believe in like 01, if not 02, in the postseason. But uh, but yeah, for how good the Brewers are right now, they've been good. They were good last year. They didn't show up against the Dodgers in the NLCS, but if you can, I mean, the way they're playing, they're on pace to get 100 wins, I believe, right now. I mean, they're right there with the Dodgers. I don't think they got 70 yet. They're facing the Cubs. Tarik Skubal was pitching today. Actually, let's look that up. I'll look it up. Let me look that up. Let's go to MLB scores. There we go. MLB scores. That's anything simple. Cubs won, and they were able to beat Tarik Skubal. Let me look at his stats tonight. Let's take a look. Yeah, so the Dodgers have now lost. I think they lost 5 in a row, thanks to us, thanks to the Boston Red Sox. We're getting to them. We're so getting to them. But yeah, they lost. They got swept by the Reds. Got swept by the Red Sox over the weekend. And they've lost the first 2 games against the Cubs here, and the Cubs are kind of in the Cubs are in the race. They made some big moves at the trade deadline too. I'm not going to be studying every move, just doing the Dodgers moves or the Skubal move because it's the biggest move in my opinion of the trade deadline. And I'll go over what the Red Sox did yesterday and all too. Loving it, Breslow, but I'm moving. Yeah, I'm moving too fast. But yeah, as you can, I don't know if you guys can see. I'm pretty sure you guys can see. Can't see the. I don't know if you can see the numbers. Let me see if I can move my head a bit. Where I put myself right in the middle, right? Boom. But yeah, Tarik Skubal 6 innings tonight. I was thinking he's gonna go another inning because I saw him go. I was looking at the game cast and all, and they were down 2-1, and he just finished up the 6th inning. So I thought he was gonna go another inning. The pitches weren't crazy. I feel like I saw like 85 or something like that. I don't think, yeah. That's where Google AI can be a little boring with it. But give it 4 hits, 2 1 runs. It wasn't a bad start. 2 walks. It wasn't a bad start for a start for him. But the Dodger offense is not scoring. It seems like. I mean, they put up 5 runs or something like that the other night. But yeah, not a great showing for the offense. Pretty sure Dodgers are probably going through a lull and all. They got their own injuries. Yeah, they scored 5 runs the other night. So I don't think it's completely the offense. Just probably in the lull and all. But yeah, the big move. That was the big move of the trade deadline. The evil empire struck again. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, like I was mentioning, I feel like the big factors for it. The Tigers didn't feel confident they're going to resign him. Apparently, Skubal's looking for $500 million, and Shohei Ohtani apparently is dealing with a knee injury, and he's been unable to pitch for the Dodgers over I don't know, maybe like either a few weeks or the past month. So I feel like that's a big part why the Dodgers were really zoned in on the Skubal, especially if that's the news for Ohtani. I don't know if there's any timetable for him to pitch again. I don't know if it's going to take some time for his knee to get better for him to pitch. So it's definitely up in the air for that. But now you look at our rotation for them with Skubal. What is it? Yamamoto, I should say. Blake Snell, if he gets healthy. Glass now too as well. So you have those 4 already. Now you're adding Skubal, and apparently there's someone else who's had a good season for them. I'm not sure on their name there. So, but Dodgers look built up. Still curious about their bullpen. We took advantage of it a little bit, so we'll be curious there. But type of team that Roki Sasaki apparently is pitching for them, and I'm sure when the postseason starts to throw him in the bullpen. I didn't see Edwin Diaz. I heard he was back. Saturday's game was close. So you would thought you would have seen them, but didn't have a lead or anything. It wasn't a tie game going into the ninth, so that's probably why I didn't see Edwin Diaz. So, but definitely a big move from them. They struck again. You know what I mean? They're the new Yankees. So, but let's get into more important things. Finally, how long I've been here? 55 minutes? Is it really? I know like 15 minutes of it. I was playing the opening and also, but. Impressive, I guess. A little 30 minutes on FIFA. Okay, now that's not helping. On FIFA and big trades in in American sports, I guess, if you want to put it together like that. MLB trades. I know I got myself all messed up. MLB standings, the most exciting thing over the last. Jeez, how long has it been that they've been on this run? Since June 25th. Now I can bring up my notes because these are the notes I really came up for. But the Boston Red Sox, look at them. They are 5. Oh, you can't see them? Can you see that? Let me move. I can make my head more smaller. Who cares? Since I'm important. That's important right there. Right there. 5 games out from the division. And can I look at the scores right now? Hold up. Because I saw the Rays up 5-2. And then I saw the Rays were tied 5-5 against the Rockies. So I'm curious. Am I going the right way or the wrong way? I think I'm going the right way. I went backwards a little bit. That's yesterday. Okay, of course. I keep using the laptop mouse. I should just be using the mouse that I have right here. We are 7-7, end of the 10th. Rays Rockies. So it could be 4.5. Yeah, it's 5. It was 5.5 going into tonight. Red Sox won big against the White Sox. I'll be getting to it and all, but as I mentioned, the Red Sox are 5 games away from the division they swept the Rays after the All-Star break, but I'm pretty sure I talked about that. I'm trying to remember where I left off because it's been like 2 weeks since and all, but I'll look it up. I'll do all that. But yeah, like I said, yeah, I just wanted to go over, really, yeah, before I start digging deep and all that, I wanted to show the standings first because, as you can see, they're 5 games away, but this baseball team was 32-47. When? What was this? This is like June 23rd? Sitting there right there with the Angels. Sitting there losing 2 out of 3 to the Rockies, so I'm just making fun of the Rays. Could be losing to them. This Red Sox team lost 2 out of 3 against them, in horrible fashion. I think that's the last blown save from Aroldis Chapman in that game. That's how bad that series ended up turning up. But I'm pretty sure I've mentioned after that they swept the Yankees. After that they lost 2 out of 3 to the Nationals. But after that they swept the Angels. They swept the White Sox, who they just trounced today. And I'll get into that. I'll get into more stats about these players and how they're killing it in these trades that Breslow ended up doing yesterday and all. But I just really want to go over the record and how they got to 61-51. And I know I've talked to much of this, but I've been away for so long. I don't know where I left off. So, but swept the Angels that the weekend after losing 2 out of 3 to the Nationals. You sweep the White Sox with no Murakami, so I'd be real. But the way they've been beating teams lately, who the F cares going forward? And then sweeping the Mets before going to the All-Star break. After the All-Star break, sweeping the Rays in a dope doubleheader. Am I in the mood to get the sounds? I don't know, because it was so long ago. I don't know if X can help me out. But I would love to get some calls. I'm going to, because there's some like, I don't want to get in trouble with some copywriting thing. So I'm definitely gonna like play the audio, but not with like the background or anything like that. So I don't want YouTube coming at me with some copywriting things. But I've been peeping a lot of people on their lives playing audio. So I want to play some audio about this dope ass run. So that's why I'm going backwards a little bit because I want to play some audio. I'm not gonna lie. But Ray's home run this is where I love Twitter. Everything is in the mix. It was a while back though, so I won't be able to find it. Nope. Yeah, Rays though. Yeah, see, I'm trying to find the Willie Abreu home run against the Rays that weekend, but the man hit 2 home runs tonight, so it's gonna be hard to find. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Let's see. I really want to go over these calls. It's been a dope run. I'm not gonna lie, man. The team, yeah. Where did I want to? Let me add some fillers while I'm trying to look for this. 29-5 since June 25th. You know that Yankees sweep. That's what they did. But since I'm on the Rays series right now. Maybe there's another idea I can do. Because I definitely saved all this when they were doing all this on my YouTube feed, my Twitter timeline, retweeting and stuff like that. So let me see how far I can go back and find all this. Bear with me. I really want the sound of all this stuff. This is just amazing stuff, especially that Race series. It's pretty damn amazing. I ain't gonna front. So bear with me. I don't be tweeting like that. It's only for like sports stuff, but it's been a lot of dope stuff lately. So you have to bear with me. All right. I mean, while I'm looking, yeah, I don't want to ruin it. I'm gonna keep looking. Ugh, I kept retweeting Chelsea Green killing it, and I gotta make time to talk about WWE here. Not all the time because they be lame sometimes, but it's pretty damn. Yeah, I retweet like a motherfucker, bro. I know. Now I know. I gotta bookmark this stuff. Yep, I'm at the A series right now. You know, when Jaron Duran was acting like a fool. We'll get to that too. I'm taking my time with these Red Sox. So I just want to I want to get my TL caught up with the sounds of all that. Oh, we're getting there. Oh, we're getting there. I retweet like a motherfucker. I apologize. I'm so bad. This is okay, we're getting there, right? I think I'm getting there. Oh. Yeah, we're getting there. I'm at the Orioles series right now. That was the next series after the Rays series, so we're definitely getting there. Hold up. There it is. Okay, I got like a photo. Oh, come on. Don't tell me I didn't retweet any of that. All right, I was about to say. All right, hold up. All right, this is the Willie Abreu call. Oh, I think that's the Rays that called it, which was a funny call too. But let me see if I can find Dave O'Brien, man. I retweet like a mother fudger. What's this? What we got here? Nah, I'm gonna find it. Don't worry about it. I'm almost there. I just retweet too much. Who's this? Yeah, Jahmai Jones did a home run that day too. That's how amazing that day was. But yeah, I just want the call. Let me take a chance with this one. The video looks short, so I didn't want to use it. But what do we got for this? Reaction. No, yeah, we just have Lou talking. That's the thing. We just had Lou talking on that one. I need the whole thing. Let me hear this one.
Look at this. Right center field, the Red Sox have taken the lead.
See how dull that sounds? That's the Rays broadcast with that call. I'm like, come on, let's hear Abreu home run. It was terrible. I'm trying to find. Ugh. Damn it. I really hope I can find it. I don't know if I'm going to find it. Damn it. I don't want to. Okay. I'm going to try one more thing. I really want to find it. Real shit. Maybe. I mean, I guess I can just do that. Let's go on YouTube, right? I'm on, YouTube can't see anything. We're just using audio. That's all we're doing. So, Yeah, I should have done that. Just used home run, Rays. Come on, give me that. Give me that call. Give me that call. Give me that DOB call. Let's see. Yeah, see, I hate that. I want a short clip. That's why I like Twitter better. YouTube be having all these long ass clips for me. I don't want it. Let me see. Let me look at these shorts.
And swing and a drive, right field. He's crushed another one. You gotta be kidding me! You gotta be kidding me! Holy cow! The Sox are back in front. Abreu with another home run. He's hit 4 in the last 2 days.
Look at this. Look at the reaction.
Multi-home run games in back-to-back games was a decade ago. That was Mookie Betts.
How do you not love this emotion? Look at this.
Dope stuff, man. That was during the sweep of the Tampa Bay Rays that I've been trying to get to, and I was trying to sit there and find a clip on X, and I'm just able to just find something else on YouTube. But ended up sweeping the. This is the before the All-Star break, like I said, they swept the Mets. Then after the All-Star break, doubleheader against the Rays, won both of those games. First game, I think they trounced them, and then the second game, able to pull away. This game right here, like the call here, Rays were up, as you heard by Dave O'Brien on the Nesson call. Was able to come back. They were able to come back in that game with his big home run there. Able to cinch that Saturday game. They were wearing the Boston Marathon City Connects and all. I think on Sunday. Now let's go back to let me go back to their games. I mean, going all the way back, and I'll be coming every Tuesday with this, so I don't have to keep doing this all over again. But yeah, as I mentioned in the doubleheader, they won 10-0 in the first one. Able to hold off in 5-3 win. Able to beat the Rays 7-6, and then it took care of business in 6-1. Then the Baltimore Orioles came in and all, where, unfortunately, throughout this whole time here, as you saw, swept this, swept that, won 15 straight games and all, able to tie a record by beating Baltimore 5-6, and this happened throughout that game. I have to get these calls in. I just have to. So let me do this. Orioles home run. If YouTube bans my video, I'm going to be pissed because I'm not showing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm just playing audio. But
And a 1-0 pitch from Wells. Swinging a high fly ball left field. This is deep. Back it goes. Yes, sir. It's out of here. Home run. The Derbinator touches them all. The Red Sox on top. Again. 6-5.
Oh, 1-0 cutter. Elevated middle. See ya. It's just like, who's going to do it tonight, right? Who's the hero tonight? They're just taking turns. There's Abreu for a couple nights. What's this? Look at the boys. This is fun.
I'm so happy Will Miller Brooks was able to get into the call with DOB, Dave O'Brien on the Nesson broadcast and all. This is the Monday after the call that I just played of Willie Abreu, able to give them the lead. Caleb Durbin here in the bottom of the eighth. Was it a tie game? I think it was a tie game and all. If not, maybe someone was on base, but was able to give the Red Sox a go-ahead lead with his home run there, and they were able to close out. Chapman, a little jumpy there in that ninth inning, but was able to close things out and have the Red Sox continue that run of 15 straight games. 14 straight. The next night, it was a rain out for the next night, so it ended up being a doubleheader. Red Sox won the first game, unfortunately lost the second game, and their 15-game winning streak came to an end, but don't worry. New things were popping up. Able to beat the Blue Jays. Blue Jays came in for that next weekend. Able to beat them 2 out of 3. The Athletics went. Now the Red Sox have went out west last week. I guess now this is where I'm catching up. I think the Blue Jays series is finally where I'm catching up. But able to handle the Blue Jays. Who was it? Dylan Cease was awesome on Saturday. Even I tipped my cap to him. It's okay to be shut down by a Cy Young pitcher. Cam Schindler better figure himself out. But I think one of the first starts for Cam Schindler was able to dominate the Red Sox. So I'll be fair there. But yeah, the Red Sox were able to win this series. I think they're on a streak. Even though their winning streak is over, their streak of winning series has continued. And I'll get to that and all after all this catching up, because I want to talk about certain stats that they've been killing it with too before I bounce and all. But able to take 2 out of 3 against the Blue Jays at home. Before I continue, this team was like 10 games below 500 at home. Now, I believe, with today's win even too, and I'll get to that. Now they are 3 games below 500 at home, and this is probably the worst home team in baseball throughout the first 2.5 months and all. Now, sitting there 3 games short of 500 with the home record, and their road record is ridiculous at 35-22. Second most wins in the AL outside of the Yankees and all. But let me continue how they've done on this schedule. Now they go out west. Not gonna lie, offense looked awful, but still able to take 3 out of 4 from the A's. As much as the offense looked awful, 4-2, lost a 4-3 game, 1-4-2, and they came out a little bit in the last one, 5-4. But I mean, tonight, that was crazy. But over the weekend against the Dodgers, though, the offense came through. 9-4 against the Dodgers bullpen in Game 1. But Game 2, I want to play more sounds. Give me a moment. Said Don Rafaela took the 2025 World Series MVP deep a couple times. Can I play? Does someone have it for me? Oh, I think I spelled his name wrong, but there we go. Let's get
Cedon steps in, swinging a drive out to left center field. He cracks this one back toward the wall, and it is gone. Home run, Cedon. He strikes again, and the Red Sox are quickly in front, 1-0.
As you heard from DOB on the Nesson broadcast again. First inning, was it the first? I don't know if it was the first pitch. Probably like second, third pitch. Yamamoto left the splitter high. As you heard, Rafaela smashed it, and the Sox were up 1-0. But I don't think he's done though. I just don't know if they're gonna feed me. Are they gonna feed me?
Cedon steps in, swinging a drive out to left center field. He cracks this one back toward the wall, and it is gone. Home run, Cedon. And a 1-2. High fly ball again, deep left field, backing up Hernandez, backing up to the wall, it is gone again. Cedon steps in.
There we go. Yeah, that wasn't a double take. He did that twice against Yamamoto. I think the first time, as I said, gave them the lead. Second time was able to tie the game. Who hit a 2-run? I think Teoscar Hernandez hit a 2-run home run in between all that to give the Dodgers a 2-1 lead after Rafaela's home run. He was able to hit a homer there. I believe the Sox manufactured, which has been the dopest thing about this run. The bunting, the moving a batter, stealing bases. They were able to do that, and they were able to score another run there to make it 3-2, and able to close it out against the Dodgers, where they head into Sunday against them and able to score more runs to go and win 8-4 against apparently a good or an okay pitcher. His ERA says okay, but apparently I heard somebody say he's been pretty good this year and all. But what's it called there? But didn't look good against the Sox and all. They hit 4 home runs that night. Massa, Duran, he hit a home run. I think he hit another one today too. We'll get to it. And who else? Did Rafi hit one? I feel like Rafi hit. I was going back and forth with a Dodger fan that I'm cool with. And I think I said that he hit a home run on Sunday, too. Yeah, he hit a home run on Sunday, too. So Abreu's coming along again. But Abreu, Rafi, Massa, and Duran, right? Massa and Duran all hit home runs on Sunday to finish the series against the Dodgers and able to sweep the best team in baseball. As I mentioned, they're on the 5-game losing streak, the first 3 games of that losing streak. Courteous of your Boston Red Sox, and also the hell of a run that they're on right now. Had a day off yesterday for the MLB. Well, they just had a day off. Other teams played, but they were lucky enough to have a day off. and made some big trades there. But before I get to it, I'm just talking about the games that they've played. Tonight, smacked the pretty damn good Chicago White Sox tonight, 14-2. I'll go back to the main screen now just for that. I got nothing playing and all, but smashed them. First inning, 6 runs. Caleb Durbin, grand slam. It's just ridiculous. Should I play that sound? Let me play that sound. Let's go back here. Definitely going to be doing this for a while throughout the season. Okay, now I think I can go to Twitter for this. No, that's the other Caleb Durbin hit. Yeah, Caleb Durbin is a monster right now, but let me see if they have it. Let me see if I can get it for you. Durbin homer. Oh, grand slam. Yeah, grand slam actually. Let's see what they got for me. Let's see what they got for me.
Swinging a drive. That one sucks high and deep. It's going to go into the monster seats for a grand slam. Swinging a drive. That one sucks.
I got it on repeat. First sound I was playing was just the crowd lighting up a bit, or lighting up a lot, I should say, after Durbin hit that grand slam. The second sound you hear is obviously D.O.B. on Nesson calling the grand slam. And first inning, 5-0. And then there was a Durant back-to-back. Durbin and Durant went back-to-back. Durant hit a home run after this one to make it 6-0. So every time the White Sox scored a run, the Red Sox scored another run. So they weren't playing tonight. Ended up winning 14-2 against the White Sox to start off this series. And looking, I think, let me find this. I want to make sure. I believe they've won 8 straight series so far. How many? In a row. I know I just went quiet real quick because I'm typing. Yep, 8 series in a row with that 15-game winning streak. Currently on a 5-game winning streak right now. It's just kind of ridiculous what's going on. And now they won the first. This is a 3-game set against the White Sox, and now they've won the first game and trying to set themselves up for a 9th straight series win. It's been an incredible run. Now I want to go over the stats that I feel like are important for this run, and also, but bear with me that I look at my phone while I'm speaking. But as I mentioned, since June 25th, the Red Sox have won 29 of their 34 games. They've had 2 5-game winning streaks, currently on a 5-game winning streak now. 5-game winning streak when they swept the Yankees and won the first game against the Nationals there. And obviously in between all that, won 15 straight games to take them from 14 games below 500 to 10 games above 500. And you got I think before tonight, Chad Tracy had a 50-34 record for his tenure so far as an interim manager of the Boston Red Sox. So just ridiculous numbers record-wise. I'm looking at a team that was, obviously down in the wild card, probably the worst team in the wild card, and now you're sitting there 5 games up on the Cleveland Guardians, 5.5, if not 6 games up on the Twins. I'm not sure how their game ended. You're 2 games behind the New York Yankees for the top wild card spot, and as I mentioned to start this, you're 5 games out. Let me see the score of the Rockies game right now. Hold up. Let's see something real quick. Currently, you are. Come on, baby. Come on. The Rays won, so you're currently 5.5 games out, but you were over 10 games, even before going into the Rays series that I mentioned, where they swept them, a 4-game series, and a huge part to why they're only 5.5 games behind them. So record-wise, just since June 25th, it's been ridiculous of their comeback. Now I want to shout out, first, before I shout out some players, I want to shout out the Red Sox bullpen in general, and I'll get to the trade deadline. It looks like they just made it stronger by seeing Eric Miller today. Left-handed guy, 270. I've never seen a guy pitch 270. I think either like Kurt Schilling or David Wells or someone like that. I can't remember someone that huge hurling like that, but I think it is the best bullpen in baseball. Chapman won AL Reliever of the Month. Garrett Whitlock has been a lock. I don't even know how else to say it. Just, that changeup is nasty. Justin Slayton has figured it out, has kept the ball I can pause, but has kept the baseball below the waist. That's how I was trying to go. That's why I paused it. But it's important for Justin Slayton to keep that ball down. When it's up in the zone, it's a home run ball for these guys. So he's been keeping it down. He's been nasty. He's been hitting corners, ending innings on the corners with a swing or just having someone look at it. Sick. Tyrone Guerrero, that 35-year-old, throwing 102 sinkers right now for the Red Sox, and he's a high leverage guy too. You picked up, and yeah, I'll get to the trade deadline pickups, but right now, I mean, I guess I'll get to Eric Miller. Now you pick up Eric Miller, who had I think a sub-2 ERA last year for the Giants, from what I heard today, and he looked nasty with his stuff. Apparently, he's got a walk issue. He's in the 1%. 1 percentile of players that with their walking stats, but the way he looked, I don't give a damn, and the way that they got going. So now, ninth guy Chapman, eighth guy Whitlock, seventh guy Slayton, sixth guy Guerrero, fifth guy Miller. That's what you got right now, and you got Brian Bayo having 3 to 4 inning saves. Showed out against the Dodgers in game 1, I think. Yeah, game 1 showed out, shut them down. They were trying to get things going too. He shut them down, and then the same thing tonight with the White Sox. 3 innings, shut down. That's my bullpen right now. What's their ERA? I think before going into the night, they got a 2.89 ERA over the last 27 games, and that's basically been their season average throughout the whole season. And also, like, a huge part of why they're doing what they're doing is the bullpen. The starters have, you got guys like Jake Bennett, Tolley, Patrick Sandoval went today, and it's been a struggle for him to get into the 6th inning. But you got guys like, I keep saying, outside of Greg Weisser, I'm going to talk my shit about that. But outside of Greg Weisser, it's been pretty solid. Even Giovanni Moran, gave up a bomb to Ohtani because he was a scared puss and all. But still, he's been pretty damn solid, too, for their bullpen. So a big part of why the Red Sox are where they are and why they weren't as bad as they were. They were 32-47. They could have been, or 32-46. They could have been worse than that. Bullpen is a big part why they stood tall, because their offense sucked. But they don't suck no more. Caleb Durbin has a .281 batting average with 27 hits, 5 home runs, 14 RBIs, and 20 runs scored in the last 27 games. Not even counting tonight. Real shit. Yeah, not even counting tonight. He just had a grand slam, got himself 4 more RBIs. I think he had another big hit too as well later in the game. They have, they include that. To be included to that 13-4 score. So he has been awesome. My love for Ceddanne Rafaela right now, up the wall right now, has a batting average of .329 since the All-Star game, people. 7 home runs since the All-Star break, people. And the man, late addition to the All-Star game, is showing why he deserves to be an All-Star. Oh, I hope I'm not freezing out and all too as well, but yeah, okay, I was worried. I wasn't seeing the levels for a second. I'm seeing myself move, but I wasn't seeing the lows, and I know I'm getting excited. I'm touching stuff and all too as well, but yeah, Ceddanne Rafaela, since the All-Star break, people, 7 home runs, batting .329, and he's top 5. He was top 5 in doubles going in. Obviously, he's extended that launching. I don't have Willie Abreu. Stats. I'm going to find them real quick because he just hit 2 home runs today. How many home runs has he hit since the home runs since the All-Star break? Let's Google it. 8. He's hit 8 home runs since the All-Star break. It's like multi-home run games too. That's why it's so much. These dudes are ridiculous right now. On their way to maybe getting 30 home runs. Willie Abreu, I think can definitely hit 30 home runs before the end of the season. Ceddanne Rafaela, I don't know. If he's hitting 7 home runs in a 2-week span, who knows what he's capable of? And he's taking Yamamoto deep, so who knows what he can do? But as I mentioned, the pitching has stabilized this team to at least not be as bad as they are. The offense right now has taken them to another level. Even though Jake Bennett as a rookie has been awesome, Payne Tully as a young guy, even though he has his moments but he was on the Dodger game. I thought he was gonna fall off after giving up. I think it was that 2-run home run to Teoscar Hernandez, but he kept going. I think he went 7 innings, if not 6 innings in that start against the Dodgers. So definitely figuring out something when he doesn't trust his breaking stuff enough. But I'm not saying that. He was trusting his breaking stuff against the Dodgers. Had a sick curveball for a strikeout. If not a curveball, it was like a sweeper or something. But had a sick breaking ball to end up an at bat for him. So definitely developing out too as well. Who else am I thinking of? Connolly early I would throw in there, but he's going to be part of the trades I'll be talking about before I bounce and also. But yeah, guys, Wilson Contreras has been awesome all season. But guys like Ceddanne Rafaela, Caleb Durbin, and I mentioned William Abreu, those three guys have been huge plugs for what they've been doing for the last month and a half, if going into 2 months and all. Caleb Durbin to start it, and he's still going. He's catching up to Alex Bregman in those numbers all of a sudden. So that's going to be a conversation there. But 7 home runs for Ceddanne Rafaela since the All-Star break, 8 home runs for William Abreu since the All-Star break. Great additions to their offense, and now they've added some other additions to their team now that I'll get to. Do I have any other stats I wanted to show out at least? But yeah, to their offense again. This is a team that was barely middling with 4 runs, barely getting. I don't even think they were at 4 runs a game before this run. They've well over 5 runs and all. Look what I've shown you: 9 runs against the Dodgers, 8 runs against the Dodgers, 13 runs today against the White Sox. They're definitely showing out. And this is against the Dodgers they had 4 home runs. I think today against the White Sox they had 4 home runs. If I can look back real quick. Yeah, let me look back real quick. What home runs today? Abreu with 2, Durbin with 1, Duran with another home run today too. And that's probably a guy that I would totally sell that at the trade deadline may help him out, because I saw a stat on Twitter that this he's on pace for 22 home runs and 85 RBIs with a sub 200 batting average. So even a guy like that can have a run the way Ceddanne Rafaela has looked and the way that Abreu has looked in these last 2 weeks since the All-Star break. And Caleb Durbin, had a 160, 170, 180 batting average. Right now, I think it's at a 220 right now. Let me look. Caleb Durbin's batting average. 243. The man was hitting 170 in May. Man, it's 243 because he's been hitting 330 since June 25th. Ridiculous what's going on. A complete, how bad they were is how up they are. And, if it weren't for these moves that they made a week ago, I'll get into. Unfortunately, the guy they picked up isn't playing right now. But shout out to Nick Sogard, making me feel okay until this pickup is ready in September, I hope, and all. But yeah, you would think, how could this team keep it up with this, And I would think I would have great questions too if Abreu and Ceddanne, Wilson Contreras can keep up this thing. The bullpen can be at a sub-3 ERA. Can all this keep up? Well, shout out to Craig Breslow. We got some moves from the trade deadline. No, this ain't no Dustin May or Steven Matz, even though I thought Steven Matz was okay last year. But this ain't no Nathaniel Lowe waiver pickup in August and all. We got some legit pickups. Let me see if I can find the transactions and all. Let's see what I got. I'll bring them up too. Let me see if someone has a complete. Even before I do the trade deadline stuff, they're going to show it. Yeah, it's kind of obvious. Yeah, I wanted to mention as to the pitching successes of the young guys and Jake Bennett and Peyton Tolley at least. Is I really doing all that. I don't need all that then. Fine. I'll go to my phone, honestly. I can hold up. Yeah, just wants to slow things down. I can't trust every site. It looks like the cookies and all that type of stuff. I gotta fix that. But tanging, what's it called there though? Yeah, I wanted to mention Connolly early for the young pitchers that have stepped up. Jake Bennett probably gonna be sitting in there, has a chance to have a rookie of the year, I should say, type of award, accomplishment type of thing. Payne Tolley's been awesome too as a young guy. A first full season for him. I don't know if he qualifies for a rookie because he came in August last year. But Connolly early was dope. But he was one of the first of the trades, and the Red Sox ended up picking up Curtis Mead. Hold up. If not, I'm just gonna keep myself on the big screen. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep myself on the big screen. Just use my phone to figure out the rest at least, if I have to. But yeah, Colin Early went to the Washington Nationals. The Red Sox picked up a guy in Curtis Mead, who very interesting, but unfortunately doesn't have a great history and all. Young guy, got DFA'd a couple times, been traded a couple times in his career, but is breaking out this year and all. Has an 800 OPS, 17 home runs. I think he's hitting 250 and change. But a great pickup there. Unfortunately, in his first game against the Athletics, second at bat, got hit in the wrist by a baseball, I think over 95 miles per hour. Yeah, fuck Jack Perkins, excuse my language. But that was the pitcher that unfortunately hit him. The Dodgers even hit my boy Wilson Contreras where he had a concussion, but he's back. Everything is good. Even had himself an RBI single today, if not a couple more other hits. But yeah, unfortunately for Curtis Mead, first game, second at bat. Got hit in the wrist. The Red Sox sold us that was just a contusion after the first night. But after getting an MRI check, which is fair, an X-ray is not going to see a fracture in the wrist. MRI will. And unfortunately, after the MRI check, ended up having a fracture in his wrist, unfortunately. So now he's out for 6 to 8 weeks, I believe, and the cast for 4 weeks. So that's an unfortunate situation there. But shout out to Nick Sogard. He stepped up and has been huge ever since, and especially in the Dodgers series and tonight too as well. Just leading off for the team has been pretty much solid. And I love Nick Sogard. One of our good players. Oh shit, that almost happened. One of our good players in the postseason against the Yankees last year. So I'm definitely a fan of him. I really think he can hold down the fort until they figure out when Curtis Mead can come back. But he was one of their big trades. They did that it was over the weekend, I think last Saturday. Not this past Saturday, the Saturday prior. I think it was the Saturday prior. I wasn't able to come in for the Sunday game. Right? I'm trying to think when he got traded. Yeah, the A's game was in the middle of the series. I'm trying to remember. He was there. I think he was there for the first game of the A series, but unfortunately got hit in the wrist, so he was out. He's going to be out for, like as I mentioned, 6 to 8 weeks in the cast for 4. Hopefully he can get back early, so we'll see that. I cannot wait to talk about the injury progress too as well. It's kind of like trade line pickups too, based off the news I heard today. But yeah, that was the first move for Curtis Mead. I haven't seen any type of impact out of him, so we'll see. Things, the way this team is looking, any type of addition could be a huge plus, and they got more. Now next, I think the next big trade was for Adley Rutschman. New to him. I'm not going to act like I know anything about him, but apparently number 1 pick for the Orioles in 2019. I guess a captain. He got a captain aura with the Orioles too. So, obviously a good clubhouse guy that sounds like. One of the best hitting catchers in the league. Only hits like 250, only has like 8 home runs this year and all. But apparently, catchers don't generally hit. What Cal Raleigh did was one of your biggest outliers of catcher seasons, in my opinion, in baseball. So, but for what Adley Rutschman offers, a big plus for the team. They had to get rid of Anthony Ianson, one of their top 5 picks or prospects, I should say. Kyson Witherspoon, I believe, is not like top 5, top 6 other prospect, and then a couple other prospects with Carlos Narvaez. Unfortunately, you had to get rid of. But to be real, when you look at the team, even you look at the outfield, Cedar Rafaela, Abreu give you a lot. Just gave you the numbers of the last 2 weeks. They're ridiculous. Jaron Duran offensively awful, batting average wise, but still giving you 20. Still on pace to give you 22 home runs, like I mentioned, 65 RBIs, and I'll give the cat credit. Definitely playing a better left field than he did last season, so that he's a plus. Even though his average stinks, he's giving you a plus everywhere else. In the infield, Wilson Contreras, no complaints there. Second base, you've had Anthony Sigler come out of nowhere and help you out and all. Shortstop, you got Angel Monasterio. That's another guy I should have talked about his numbers. He's a double machine, but there's so many people contributing. But he's coming on as of late. I'm pretty sure I'll get to if Angel Monasterio keeps this up. Pretty sure next week I'll get to his numbers. But he's been solid at shortstop when you put him there. Caleb Durbin, defensively, has been awesome throughout the whole season, and as I mentioned, picking it up offensively. Connor Wong has been solid average-wise offensively, able to drop a sack bunt here or there, but you're still, and Carlos Narvaez, I feel like has given you nothing. As of late, before he got traded, his challenges, in my opinion, got better, but overall, they sucked all year, especially in the beginning of the season. So you're really only getting one. You got to platoon the guys. I feel like Connor Wong was playing better to start the season, but I feel like he is getting worn out too as well. And the Boston Red Sox, I guess, offensive stat-wise, they rank 28th out of all, I think 32 teams are in the MLB or whatever it is. So they rank 28th. So you're getting nothing there. So that's why I really commend Breslow and the front office team. It's not just him. Of really identifying what they wanted and getting Adley. I hear the package is ridiculous, but if we're being real, the Yankees were in on it. If the Yankees are in on it, the Baltimore Orioles are a division rival. Shout out to Brad Stevens of not getting a haul for Philadelphia 76ers for a division rival. But it's kind of different in basketball compared to baseball. You can winning a division in basketball doesn't really signify anything, especially if your record isn't all that great. In baseball, winning your division guarantees a home spot at least. I don't know if that works in basketball in the NBA anymore, but still traded Jaylen Brown to the enemy, so definitely gonna catch some smoke for that. But definitely can understand how your package to send. If you're going to trade a player, looking at the Orioles at least and all, sending a high-end player within the division, you would think you're going to bug the division rivals for some prospects. So the fact that the Yankees were in on Adley Rutschman, and it would make sense why the package for Rutschman was so, I'm trying to avoid a pause thing, but there's so much there's so many pieces that the Red Sox gave up in their package gave up in their packages, and to me it's understandable when you got someone like the Yankees really looking into them, and apparently even Brian Cashman said they were in on it, but they just weren't able to get the offer to fit for the Baltimore Orioles. But big addition, in my opinion, for Adley Rutschman to add as a catcher for the Red Sox. Apparently plays great defense too as well. I was a little worried about that more with Hunter Goodman, even though he can give you 30 home runs, but his defense wasn't great. Adley Rutschman seems to give you enough offensively, and can catch defensively well, which is a big thing to me. Watching these Red Sox teams over the past couple of years, watching them play defense was just horrid. The fact I think they're top 5, if not top 6 this year. It's been a dope thing to see. You don't want to ruin that, in my opinion. Andrew Monasterio and Sigler be a little bit questionable at times, but they make enough plays and they make enough impact offensively, especially Andrew Monasterio lately, that I can't knock their defense. When you're not getting much offensively from your catchers, and then Narvaez at least defensively, where he should be tops, has been, to me, questionable this year, especially with the challenges. So I definitely get the move. I like the move. I get the move. Let's do it, and we'll see if it works. I really do have high confidence in it, because the way, when you look at guys like the way Caleb Durbin was hitting throughout the middle of the season and where he's at, I'm looking at Jarren Duran to see if he can make some type of run. But Ceddanne Rafaela, even though he's been all right all season, look how he's upticked. William Abreu, he's been all right this season, upticking right now. There's no way I can look at Curtis Mead, hopefully. I don't know how that wrist is going to affect his swing, so that's going to be a huge question there. But we got Adley dealing with the wrist thing too, and he's going to be coming back. He's ready to get added, apparently. So apparently he's supposed to take some type of rehab stint. But we'll see. But he's dealing with the wrist thing. He's coming back. So I would think guys that have shown the level of hitting and coming to this team, just the way, Wilson Contreras, I expected some home runs from Wilson Contreras. I didn't think he'd be sitting there close to a 300 clip batting average wise. He's been hitting the ball pretty damn well outside of just hitting home runs. So I did not expect that from him. So the fact that they've taken these guys in, they've gotten more out of them. Andre Monasterio, you've gotten more out of. Anthony Sigler, you've gotten more out of. I can't look at Adley Rutschman and Curtis Mead if he's able to recover well from his wrist, where they can't have some type of impact for this baseball team. So I love those two moves for your offense. Even when Curtis Mead's first game with the Red Sox, they had Ceddanne Rafaela at 5, and the way he's hitting home runs, that may be a dope place to put him. But I don't know how this lineup is going to work the way Rafaela and Abreu are hitting. Where are you going to put Mead? Where would you put Adley Rutschman? We're going to get Rutschman soon, I would think, within the week. As I said, Mead 6 to 8 weeks, hopefully sooner. We'll see how things look when the cast comes up. But I think there's 2 other moves that are pretty dope. I mentioned this brute, and Eric Miller from the Giants looked awesome, and then I had my little tangent about how dope, with the bullpen stats I was bringing up and all. But they had Eric Miller from the Giants. They traded Marcelo Mario away, which I'm a fan of. He offered you nothing. I'm more excited to see. I never thought I'd be caring about Isaiah Carnafalefa, but I can't wait to have him back, because after the first month or so, he became more solid. He was in the World Series one with the Blue Jays too, so he's going to offer more clubhouse feel than Marcelo Myers. So that's a great, no overpay there, great move. I think they picked up another minor leaguer too, the Red Sox, Carlos Gutierrez or something like that. So apparently a solid a solid minor leaguer and see how it turns out. But, you're able to get a little bit more there with Marcelo Meyer, who, I don't think it was ever going to work out with him there. Fair points to what other people bring up. They brought him up too early, was never really ready to take over the way they wanted him to. Number 4, number 5 overall pick too as well. So kind of disappointing that it couldn't work out like that. But big move there for Eric Miller in my opinion. And then there's one guy here who I like when they Eli White. But I've heard some people hate on it. Like, what are you going to do with the extra outfielder? Well, Romy Gonzalez, who can't hit a baseball right now, and to be fair, he was rushed back in the situation because how bad our offense was in May and June. But now he's getting Romy Gonzalez is getting optioned out to Worcester, the AAA team, and Eli White is going to be going to be on the active roster for the team, an extra outfielder, which I love. You saw Ceddanne Rafaela get out early in this blowout today. Apparently he's able to play all 3 outfields too as well. Abreu and Ceddanne Rafaela, I can't remember the last time those 2 got a day off, so it's huge. I think look how both guys have looked since the All-Star break. You want to keep those guys fresh. This is a sneaky dope move. Let me switch over. I want to switch over to the main to give you a look at Eli White. Because I look at this move being so underrated. When you look at how Ceddanne Rafaela and William Abreu, streaky guys in their history, have looked, as I mentioned, in the last 2 weeks. Now you have a guy like Eli White who can play all 3 infields, play them at a great defensive rate apparently. His speed that I heard is 99 percentile in the whole league at least. So you have a speedy guy too. You can get off the bench, you can put on the bench and pitch him in for base running attempts too as well. No different from a Dave Roberts if you're really thinking a postseason run. So I think a huge move here. And I'll even talk about how the speed of the Sox on the bench can get a little bit more interesting with the injury updates that we got today. Oh my God. First though, I think late last week, we got the news on Roman Anthony on swinging a bat. Finally, swinging a bat. Yeah, he's been on the 60-day injured list with a ring finger issue. But he's finally swinging the bat off a tee. He was swinging the bat, I should say, off the tee. Apparently now he's taking overhanded swings. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, I would think it's more, eliminate the tee. He's just taking swings. More, just more firmer swings. I'm not sure. I'm definitely guessing there. But I'm trying to think overhand swings. That's what I heard today, or read today, that he's taking overhand swings. But whatever it is, it's progress to get himself back on the baseball field at least. So huge news there, and that's what I wanted to bring that up with the whole Eli White pickup. If you can get Roman Anthony back and look 70% of what he looked from the World Baseball Classic and how he looked last year for the Red Sox, now he's your starting left fielder. Maybe you're starting DH, but it's only a ring finger issue. So I don't know. I wouldn't think that he can't play outfield, even though he's not like the greatest outfielder. He still has the ability to play outfield. You can have some options, DHing some guys at least. But just for the whole Eli White point that I want to bring up, if you're able to have Roman Anthony start at left field, now you can have Jarren Duran and Eli White coming off the bench for speed purposes when you think about it in postseason scenarios. So I really like this move for Eli White. Mind you, he can spell guys like Ceddanne, and that's one of my big things with it, that he can spell Ceddanne and then Abreu. And you look how those two guys look for getting 3 to 4 days of a break in the All-Star, during the All-Star break, and look how they've looked after the All-Star break. It'd be huge where you can spell them from time to time, and you're giving yourself a defensive a dope defensive outfield that can play all 3 positions. A tall guy, and he can offer you speed where he can still use him in bunt situations and things of that situation. So I think an underrated pickup. I've heard some knocking about it, about where you're gonna put him. That's why I brought up Romy Gonzalez. Now you have a place to put him because Romy Gonzalez is not hitting. He's not offering anything. It's not like he's a great defensive guy, and it's not his fault. The team sort of rushed him into playing. I think he only had 18 at-bats after not playing at the end of the season, not starting the season. I don't think he got any type of at-bats going because he was coming off a shoulder surgery throughout the offseason. So I doubt he got any swings going until May, and then they wanted him to have some some MLB at-bats. When he's he's probably only 40% into his swing, hasn't really figured it out. So I think Eli White, I think, is a low-key, underrated move and all. Adley and Christian Smith deserve the noise, but Eli White can really help guys like Abreu and Ceddanne Rafaela stay fresh, where, Ceddanne Rafaela faded a lot towards last season. It wasn't his fault. They had him playing second base, had him at center field, had him playing second base again. I don't think he played shortstop last year, but having him move around. And when you look at a guy like Mookie Betts, how he struggled offensively, I think last year, because, either last year or the year before, because the Dodgers were doing the same thing. Injuries were the reason why, probably. He was playing center field, but now they have him more in a stable position. And I look, with Mookie Betts at this point, and having Ceddanne Rafaela being stable at center field, not moving around the second base or anything like that, I think a big part of not wearing him out and why he's stepping up big time in the second half compared to last year, where he was kind of, a hit or miss after the All-Star break. So, but that's not even it. This is what the vibes are going on with the Boston Red Sox. I really gave up on this guy, but apparently we got Garrett Crochet finally throwing to get himself going off his what? He's got a 60-day DL stint too, is it not? Let me see what it is. I think it's, whatever it is. He's been out for 60 damn days anyway, since late April, right? If not early May. But, no. Okay, all right. I'm messing things up. I keep touching shit. I'm almost done. Long ass time. I knew I'd go a while. There's a lot that I missed over the last 2 weeks. But as of today, though, Garrett Crochet apparently is throwing, is doing some flat ground throwing. Finally, he wasn't doing any throwing since I think like June, where apparently he hurt his lat. Apparently it was a shoulder problem first. Ended up being a lat issue, based off reports and what I'm seeing, what I'm reading here at least. But finally throwing flat ground. This is the very beginning of his ramp up and all. But the fact that he's throwing, it gives me a shot. I don't know what did Chad Tracy say. There's still no return date. It makes sense. Shouldn't be a return date for him. I still wouldn't expect him till September. It does say September here, so you would think if he can get through his build-out with no setbacks, he can get ready to, throw some real sessions by the end of this month, going into September. So this was my one injury where I said, even with this crazy run that the Celtics have had, Celtics, wow. Can't help myself. But this crazy run that the Red Sox have had did it again. Yeah, I was pressing stuff. But had my questions again if the Red Sox can really make a World Series run without Garrett Crochet. It didn't make sense to me. When you look at the starters, like having too much fun. But when you look at the starters with Bennett and Tully, you really can't rely on them for a postseason run. They're already like way above their innings that they've pitched in the past. So how strong can they be going forward? You got Sonny Gray, you got Ranger Suarez as your two, or as your 1 and 2 right now. Sonny Gray's been questionable after the All-Star break, so I don't know if I can really rely on him to be a horse throughout the postseason. Ranger Suarez, I don't know. For some reason, I got great confidence in him. He's coming back from a groin injury. They're babying him a bit, so I'm perfectly fine there. Patrick Sandoval, I know, is not going to be a starter for us, so that's where the question is. I know I got a 2. I know I got a 1, I got a 2 to a degree. I'm not saying I'm confident for the 1 in Gray because he's pitched like a 1 this season. But there's news of Tanner Houck too. There's more news of Tanner Houck than Johan Aviedo, but I believe Aviedo's having some having some throwing sessions as well. But Garrett Crochet would be a dope addition to your starting rotation, and have Sonny Gray as your number 2 and Ranger Suarez as your number 3. I'm still curious the fact that he's throwing in the first week of April, or first full week of April, I'm tired. The first full week of August. Can he really be ready to be a starting pitcher to go 5 or 6 innings? As I mentioned, this bullpen, can start from the 5th inning on, especially if it's a postseason thing and games can play out for you the right way. You got plenty of pitching in the bullpen, it looks like at this point. Can Crochet give you 5 to 6 innings of playoff intensity starting pitching? We know we can do it, but with this injury he's dealing with, can he do it, is my only thing. If you have that with Sonny Gray, Ranger Suarez, you can pick and choose your 4th guy if need be, and this team does have a 4th guy. If you can settle down Jake Bennett's innings, you can settle down Payne Tully's innings, maybe put Brian Bayo in there. Tanner Houck may be an option, and I wouldn't even say Tanner Houck is an option. He's coming off of a Tommy John surgery, but we got Patrick Sandoval barely pitching 5 innings after being 2 years away because of Tommy John and some other injury too as well. So, and he's been fine. I think he's 5 starts in, and he's been fine. Barely able to get the 5 innings, but Tanner Houck can give you something like that, if Oviedo, hasn't been out as long as Tanner Houck can give you something like that, or if Garrett Crochet can give you something like that, that's where my confidence level starts being a little bit more high. Because I only see 2 postseason starters right now. Bennett, because of the innings, even though he looks like it, innings-wise, I don't know. Payne Tully, innings-wise, looks like it, but inning-wise, I don't know. And Patrick Sandoval, I know, can't pitch in the postseason as a starter. I mean, I can trust him in the bullpen maybe. Long guy, you never know. Like big lead, down big, you can use him for something like that. But I won't even use Bayo like that. I would keep Bayo for high leverage situations, in my opinion, at least and all. So, but yeah, I think it'd be huge if the Sox can get have another postseason starter. Now I can see why they didn't swing for a starter in the trade deadline. I kind of assumed Tanner Houck and Oviedo could be in the mix, but Garrett Crochet is a big name that could really change things for them. If he's somewhat ready to go for the postseason, I would think he needs a starter to ramp up a bit before really going into the postseason as a starter. If they use him as a long guy, similar to how Chris Sale was used sort of in the 2018 run, maybe you can get away with something like that. But with just Sonny Gray and Ranger Suarez, I feel like being your true postseason starters, it'd be huge, and this is what it can really change my fortunes the way I feel about this team. Because I think they can make the postseason at this point, and maybe make some noise at least. But I would have some questions about them really winning a World Series. If I have this guy somewhat to himself, I know I'm not going to get 100% Crochet this postseason. That's impossible to believe without him. With them finally starting his throwing program in the first week of August. But if I can get a facsimilation, 60 to 80% of this guy going into the postseason, the way he looked against the Yankees in that game, that first game of the wild card series, I think the Sox really have a legit chance of making the World Series. And trust me, I didn't think I'd be talking like that to start the season, or not to start the season. I knew I was talking like that to start the season, but throughout the middle of the season, I didn't think I'd be feeling this way towards the way they're playing, at least in all. 29-4, right? Is it 29-4, 29-5 over the last 34 games for them, and 1 win away of winning their 9th straight series, either tomorrow or Thursday against the White Sox. So I'm finally back, though. Like I mentioned, every Tuesdays I'll definitely be recording. We'll see how I'll be breaking down the emergency pods and how news breaks, and see if I want to do extra shows. But definitely gonna try to keep a schedule, keep up with the YouTube algorithm and all too as well. So appreciate you guys peeping us today, or peeping me today, however you want to take that, at least and all. But again, if you guys enjoyed this, please press on that subscribe button to help grow the podcast. Press on that like button, share on your social media and all. If you guys are listening on the podcast side, please leave us a rating, write us a review. Like I said, it will help the podcast, help us get discovered and things of that nature. And share it on social media too as well, to your friends and family to help support the podcast. So definitely appreciate you guys' time. I can't believe I went for almost 2 hours tonight. Definitely had a lot to catch up with and all. The Red Sox got me feeling some fever. I don't know if it'll be the same fever as the World Cup fever. It's definitely have to wait till October if they're able to get that far and all too as well. So, but definitely appreciate you guys listening. I guess it's time to go. Peace.